Morning. What's that leaking on? Hang on. Oh. How we doing, people? How we diddling? Lovely to see you all. Early morning, isn't it? It's about 8 o'clock. It's dead on the hour. 8. Whoop. Cool. They almost dropped me a cup of coffee. Yeah. How we doing? Let's just wait for a few of you lovelies to pop in. Oh, beautiful. I think we're going to have some beautiful days now, guys. I really do. I consider that the weather is just about to become very clement. It's going to be beautiful. Morning, Bill. Lovely to see you, darling. How are you? We're in here this morning. I want to be sharing. Listen, over the years, people have said, Witcher's a bit like, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he's like, we've had all that old chestnut, and I've never took no notice. Push the pipe then. I think it's okay. I'll have a look in a minute. Got people messaging me. But I'm going to share a little video with you in a little while from a guy who's a doctor. He was a GP, general practitioner, and he said he's an old man sitting in a chair having a rant. So it's good. Billy Thompson, hello, Squire. How are you, darling? You all right? Just going to wait. I mean, actually, it's quite early, so I don't expect too many people to come in. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, and we're going to drink me Trump tea. Do you know what, right? Coffee tastes better in this. It really does. It's just good. It's got Trumpy on the front. I like a bit of Trump. I do. He's a bit like Marmite, isn't he? People like him. Some people like him. Some people don't. Does it? It's just what it is, isn't it? Lovely to see you, peeps. It really is lovely to see you. Look, the pen is mightier than the sword, right? My mate Billy Thompson, who's in here, is testament to that fact. The stuff that he's been doing over the last few years. Do you know what, Bill? I salute you. You're a top dude. We're going to have a meet one day. I'll give you a big hug, mate. I don't know if you like man hugs, but we're going to have a man hug at some point. Ruth Stockley, hello, darling. Nice to see you, Ruthie. I'm going to be sharing a bit of Vernon in a minute. He makes a lot of sense, this guy. His channel's blowing up. He's going berserk. It's fantastic. So, look, I don't... when I share people's content, it's because of the content. And their charisma, they've got a bit of charisma about them. I like it. I like spirited people. I like all people, to be fair. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this country. I see lots of food. I see the food now being used as a weapon with the cost of it, with the cost of food and whatever goes on. It's all a weapon against us. Now, for people that are doing all right, I mean, I'm doing all right. I could go through a blitz and I'd do all right. I'm one of these people that just is a natural born survivor. That's just how I was made. Okay. And there's a lot of people out there like that just keep going. We're a bit bomb proof. We just keep going and going and going and going and going. But there's a lot of people out there that don't and can't for some reason. And when you look at what the cost of food is and stuff, even if you're going to Aldi's and Lidl's, which are the cheaper end of the market, and personally, that's where I go because I wanted to give Morrison's and Sainsbury's a kick in the ribs. Because I said to myself years ago when I see them hyping up the price and acting like Nazis, I thought, well, there's only one way to deal with this, and that's not to stop. That's just not to shop there. If I'm not putting my energy into something, then it's not going to thrive from anything that I'm doing. So, but even Aldi's and Lidl's, their stuff's creeping up. Now, you would have thought that in the middle of an epidemic pandemic, that the cost of food would come down so that everyone could eat properly. Do you know what I mean? And when you look at the government, health ministers and all that saying, we're coming out of the curve now, whatever it is they're chatting about, we're going to start letting 6 people or more attend this, that, the other. We want people to get healthy. The first thing they did was open up the pubs so people can get smashed off their tits, excuse my French, which is not a healthy thing to do, and open McDonald's and stuff. And you think, well, McDonald's really and truthfully isn't. It's not food, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, it's a easy, quick meal with pretty much zero nutritional value, and I mean zero nutritional value. There is pretty much zero, apart from a load of calories. There's pretty much zero nutrition in the McDonald's. But you would have thought that the price of food and everything would have come down, you know, so that everyone's not struggling. The first thing I would have done if I was in charge of this country, if there was a pandemic epidemic, is I would have made things super affordable and been giving stuff away. I would have had food vans out there giving food away, you know, so that people could go. Not this government, no. This government wants you bending over. This government wants you bowing to its Luciferian doctrine. But guys, we're here. We represent light over darkness, goodness over evil. Okay, as the T-shirt says. Now, I used to be very affiliated with this group called the Pendragons, and I'm hoping they're still going, and I hope that they've got themselves sorted out, and I hope that the light is certainly shining over the darkness, and that they sort of jump back on board and get on with it. So I was a very proud member of the Pendragons, and I don't mind fixing up and looking sharp. I quite like this T-shirt, to be fair. We're off to the forest later today, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking the horses down to the forest. We're going to have a little meander around the forest. It's going to be beautiful, 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 beautiful. And I'm looking forward to a very, very lovely day. And it looks like the weather's going to be absolutely fantastic. So what I wanted to say was, like I said, people would look at someone like myself and think, well, don't forget plenty of teeth. Yeah, you make a decent, Jan. I've got to share that, Jan. You know what? Your opinions are so powerful because you are the people, right? And it's not just me sat here ranting on. I've got all your beautiful comments, and this is the thing, right? When I'll give you an example. Last year, my missus was we was in the car. Missus was driving or traveling, doing whatever she does. I was sat by the side of her and stroking the inside of her legs like that, like the inside of the legs stroked. And my mate Susie, well, her mate Susie was sat in the back. Now, Susie is a proper conspiracy theorist, right? Proper conspiracy theorist. 9/11 was a thingy. They're trying to kill us with the food and that. And to be fair, this woman is so healthy that I got some litmus papers last year and we all did the old saliva test and she was well in the green. So she was proper alkaline. And I said to her, fair play. She said, Dave, they're trying to kill us. She said, there's a lot of things. And I'm like, well, so she's a grandmother now. She's pleaded with her daughter not to vaccinate. And so it's amazing. But the point is, there's three of us in the car. Three, one, two, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, right? Or sept, six, whatever it is. I don't know. Eins, zwei, drei. I can do it all. I tell you, I've got it all covered here, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, Susie starts talking about 9/11 and this and Rick Mao and my missus felt a bit awkward because here's me and Susie having a conversation that people would consider conspiracy theorists. And when people call you a conspiracy theorist, what it means is they're too fucking lazy to go out and do their own research, right? They're too lazy and too ignorant and can't be asked, CBA, to look into these things, okay? So we're chatting away, and I could see my missus felt a bit awkward because all of a sudden she weren't the majority, she was the minority. And that's how this all works, you know. This country works on hierarchy of the majority rules and you must do what the majority says. Well, no, why should you? Well, everybody's got to do it. Well, thankfully, I'm not everybody. Whenever you go, well, the police pull you up, well, you ain't got insurance. Everyone has to have insurance. Well, I'm not everyone, Constable. I'm me. I'm that little individual shard of greatness, yeah? So that's the point I'm trying to make. So it's a bit, when you get this majority, and this is where we're going now, I can feel that the goodness is taking over the darkness, and that's got to be a good thing, and that's the majority. And once that happens, that tipping point, then we're away, people, let me tell you. So people would say, oh, which is a conspiracy theorist? He's a plumbing and heating engineer. What does he know? And that's another problem. Whenever you get normal everyday people, maybe someone sat in a council flat expressing their opinion, and people say, oh, he's living in a council flat. What does he know? Listen, he knows just as much, if not more, than someone that's a government minister. Just because that government minister's got money and clout and power, which is a dangerous thing to allow, all men are created equal. I don't know if you all remember that, whether you get that in your psyche now, that you're getting this feeling that actually, no, we're all created equal. Men and women are created equal. Devoured by their creator with certain unalienable rights. And them rights are freedom, liberty, expression, do what we like. That's what we're all supposed to be here for. So that's the point, isn't it? You get people sat in a council flat. Oh, no, what does he know? He don't know nothing. He's got nothing. Look at him. What a loser. No, that's you've got to get rid of that mentality. Someone sat in a council flat that's struggling is not a fucking loser. They're just someone that have not jumped on the bandwagon. Remember, it says the meek shall inherit the earth. It don't say the rich shall inherit the earth. It says the meek shall inherit the earth. So that's the point we're at. So people could say, oh, which is this, which is that. But fortunately, it's all grown a little bit in the last few years. And people now consider people like myself to be truth tellers and to bring in you your nuts and bolts on a weekend and daily basis. You can't trust the BBC's now, I mean, Trevor McDonald, they just span you for years. They just span you. So anyway, we've now got a situation where we've got Dr. Vernon Coleman, and I'm going to be sharing a video of two great guys I really follow at the moment on YouTube, Vernon Coleman and Carl Vernon. And I have to be careful how I say their names because I get them mixed up. So this Vernon Coleman is a doctor, GP, ex-GP. His channels are not monetized. He expects nothing back. He just sits in his chair, reads off the script, and he's an ex-GP, and his channel's blown up. He's been doing it quite a few years now, I do believe, and he gets loads and loads and loads of views. So we're going to be listening to Vernon this morning and Carl Vernon. Now, Carl Vernon makes me really laugh. He's a really funny kind of guy, and this is what we need now, right? We need the light over the darkness. We need goodness over evil. Okay, we can do this, ladies and gentlemen, because we are the goodness over evil. We are the greatness. Okay, I'm Ben Dow. I think I won something on eBay. Don't bow down to anyone. Sod them. Our government is ignoring our magna. They are corrupted to the core, and they are Fabians. I agree. I absolutely agree. The thing with the Magna Cartas and stuff is they weren't written for us. They weren't written for the ordinary, everyday people. All they were written for was they were written by the hierarchy to place limitations on the hierarchy. They were. But back then, when we had the Commons, when our Commons was set up as it should be, because it's called the Commons for a reason, it was set up to protect the liberties of the common man. It's been corrupted. It's absolutely corrupted. And it's all you've got hanging out of these places now is dog turds. You really have. All people that are just lining up their own pockets, feathering their own nests. That's all they're interested in. And all you are is to these people is a consumer, a customer, a slave. It's so sad. It is such a sad sight to see that humanity has ended up where it's ended up. But ladies and gentlemen, out of the ashes rises the phoenix. Let me tell you, light over darkness. Wherever you go, right? This T-shirt says on the bottom here, "The pen is mightier than the sword." I hope you can see that down here, and it's true. Now, I want to know whoever coined the phrase. Whoever coined the phrase that the pen is mightier than the sword. All throughout these years, wars have been ended at the hand of a pen. Adolf Hitler, the Third Reich, whoever it was, surrendered by signing some documents. So the war was over. War was started by documents. Whenever, it's always been a document. It's always been a sign of a signature. There's always been a pen involved. And it's true. But I want to know whoever coined the phrase, "the pen is mightier than the sword." Someone must have started it all off. Everything is starting off somewhere. I see the BBC is crying over the death of an ISIS fighter who lost his British as a hijab in a jab. I don't get it. I fail to understand how the government of a country fails to protect its own people. I really do. That's its first duty, is to protect its people. It's not to violate them. It's not to demonize on them. It's not to incarcerate them. It's not to beat them up. It's just not. It's such a shame. Le Pen is mightier than Macron. Yes, UK media. I love that. That's funny. I'm going to have to share that in a second. I love sharing your comments, by the way, because you're all just so valuable. You're all so beautiful, man. And I just hope one day we can all just have maybe a little party somewhere and just get together up in the city or wherever it is you guys are, and just have a nice time, shed some light over the darkness, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to shed the light over the darkness. And this guy I'm just about to share, Vernon Coleman, do everyday normal people now sit home and call him a crazy conspiracy theorist? Do they label him in their cheapness to, oh, he's just like Harold Shipton, isn't he, and all that, because we know it's easy just to laugh off and pass off, okay? I mean, I've done it. It's so easy just to go, oh, he's a fucking nutter. She's got problems. Oh, look at her over there, with her tits out, running across the cricket field, screw loose, all that. You know what I mean? It's easy just to pass things off, isn't it? Than rather than actually realise what is really going on. It's just the easy option. It's like getting boiling a kettle and pouring water on a super noodle pot and just giving it a couple of minutes. It is easier than getting out all your pots and pans and preparing a proper bit of grub. It's just we seem to like in this country, and I'm going to give you a proper analogy now. We have supermarkets putting carrots in bags that are already peeled and chopped up, and cheese. That's how easy we like life in this country now. We're too lazy to peel carrots and chop them up and cut up a bit of cheese and grate it ourselves. We're too lazy to boil an egg and peel an egg. We have to have them in a packet. It's a craziness. And we won't buy wonky carrots. All of the food that has been thrown away in this country because it doesn't look proper to the idiots that go into the super. I can't buy that carrot. It's a bit crooked. Look, it's got a knob on the end. It looks like a willy that's going south for the wind. Look at it. People won't buy them. They throw them away. They go into the food chain for the animals or whatever. I mean, obviously it goes somewhere, but you just think, if you're that peculiar that you can't just go into a shop and fucking buy a packet of carrots or a bag of carrots that are loose, that are all wonky donkey and all over the place, and just take them home and peel them. We've all had them spuds that go in and out, and you go, oh, fuck, I can't. Do you know what I mean? But people are too lazy. And that, if you look at the food and how it is, that should tell you a lot about the people of your country, right? That they're too lazy to peel stuff. So anyway, we're going to get in the nuts and bolts. I want to know if people are going to call this guy a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? Because this guy is XGP. His channel's not monetized. I'm going to share him out. We're going to play a bit of Vernon Coleman this morning, and we're going to play a bit of Carl Vernon as well, because Carl Vernon at the minute is just knocking it out of the park. He's so funny. He's a pre-recorded guy. He's not a live feeder. I think he does 1 or 2 live feedings on YouTube. And as of the 22nd of this month, which isn't too far away, my 90-day, what we got? We got 10 days. 10 days, ladies and gentlemen, until my Facebook live ban is over. But I bet you my bottom dollar and my right testicle is that I'll be on there a few days and they will ban me again, because Facebook really are suppressant. They are a suppressant thing. I seem to have more freedoms on here than Facebook. Facebook for me is just, there is no freedom of speech. Now look, freedom of speech in a country means good and bad. Freedom of speech means if you don't like what someone says, you switch off. You don't stay tuned in. I do it. I might listen to something going on and I just flick off and go somewhere else. That's your right. That's your freedom and your liberty. And when you get the good and the bad, you can make an informed decision. But because Facebook don't like, what you're sharing. They're fact checking now all sorts of weird things. Pizzagate. We shared a post about Pizzagate the other night, and if you want to know about Pizzagate, trust me, that'll open your eyes up. It said, it's not thingy. They haven't banned it. Someone put a post up and said, "Oh, this Pizzagate." They said, "No, we're going to let it fly. It's all right. We don't think that it goes against our community standards." And I'm like, "What? Raping kids? Pizzagate? It's not against your community standards? Are you for real?" But they said, "Well, no, it's all right. We're going to let it fly. We're going to let it fly." Why? Because they're darkness. Because Facebook's really not your friend, ladies and gentlemen. Morning, Jesus Joe's noisy tone. Got a little fly flying around here. Let's open your window, open the fly out. Can't kill him. He's just on his journey. Well, morning, Jesus. Always want to say that. Yeah, it is, isn't it? We got a Jesus in the room. Isu, Jesus, Yahshua, Yahweh. There's so many words for our great, gorgeous King. There's only one King, ladies and gentlemen. That's Jesus Christ, and I love him dearly, and I tell him every day, and that's why we keep it funky fresh, man, because I want my soul to go to heaven. You might not get that on a soul level. I'm a very soully, earthy kind of individual, and I know that this vessel that I speak through is just a machine. It's just a body, and it's not mine, because if it was completely mine and my soul's, it would never leave me, and I would be in control of it. But it's not. It's in control of me, because when it stops, I move on, and we all do. We all go back. We all go back to the place that we come from, every single one of us, and it's exactly the same place. So when you understand deep esoterical meanings of life, then that's it. So good morning, Jesus. Lovely to see you, and it's lovely saying that, isn't it? Morning, Jesus. It's better than saying morning, Satan. I wouldn't let anyone in my room. Actually, I would. I would. If someone was called Satan, I'd let them in if they were respectful. Right. So let's get stuck into a bit of. Carl, let's come back in the stream, y'all. I've got to share my screen. Oh no, we are sharing my screen. What am I like? Winkle, aren't I? Right, so let's just make that a bit bigger. That's it. So you've got a little old me now. Let's go to Vernon Coleman. Hopefully you can see this. Killing off the sick, old life matters. Hand sanitizers can kill you. But most people out there would go, "Nah, don't. What you on about? What you're on about? What you on about?" I'm going to let you make up your own minds. All right, but this guy is a GP. I'm going to play you one. I'm just going to give you a 6-minute one. All right, I don't want you all falling asleep. Not as though you would. If you're paying attention in what goes on in the world, you certainly won't be falling asleep right now. I'm going to play you a 6-minute 20 of this guy. I'm an advocate of his channel, because this guy is an ex-GP that decided to start speaking the truth and decide that his country was going to rat shit, excuse my French, and decided that he would, in his own way, go about doing stuff. Now, look, listen, this guy put this video up 3 days ago, and he's had just under 40,000 views. So let me tell you, this guy's no fool. So we're going to have a little listen to Vernon this morning. Hope you enjoy. Let's get rid of the ads. Oh, here we go.
Obviously proved, in another video, the government has already given doctors the legal right to kill old people by starving them to death or depriving them of fluid. Doctors do this if the elderly patient is filling a hospital bed that the administrators want to use for another patient, even if it's just someone requiring non-life-saving treatment,
Go on, cosmetic
surgery or whatever. Governments have been doing this for one reason only, to save money. But killing off the old folk hasn't saved enough money. Governments everywhere have been toying with bankruptcy for years. They never really recovered from the 2008 crisis, when lorry loads of taxpayer cash was handed over to the banks so that executives and directors could keep paying themselves those obscenely huge bonuses to which they'd all become addicted. And now that the coronavirus hoax has resulted in governments everywhere being aware that they'll soon have to scrabble around down the back of the sofa and break open the kiddies' piggy bank.
We've all found a quid down there.
Pay for ministerial cars and fat pensions for civil servants. Things are going to get much, much worse. and they're going to get much, much worse very quickly.
Mm.
So the next obvious step in order to save money is to kill off all sorts of patients with chronic or potentially expensive illnesses such as cancer and heart disease. But how on earth could you do that? How could politicians possibly get the voters to put up with that? Well, they've already done it. They started some weeks ago when most people were sitting at home, locked in and terrified that the plague bug might climb down the chimney or scramble under the gap at the bottom of the back door. It wasn't difficult to do. They just shut down the hospitals on the excuse that they were needed for the 8 million patients expected to fall ill in the UK with the coronavirus, and the heaven knows how many million patients expected to fall ill with it everywhere else. It was like introducing the death penalty by the back door, except that now we aren't killing the possibly guilty, we're killing the definitely innocent. In the UK, there'll soon be 10 million people awaiting hospital appointments and treatment. Nearly 2.5 million are currently waiting for treatment for cancer. The government and the media merrily claim that all hospitals are open for business, but that's not true. Many hospital departments are still shut because of social distancing, although there's absolutely no reason for it at all.
Absolutely.
We don't shut hospitals when there's a flu epidemic.
Amen.
Let me remind you,
Amen.
This is not as bad as a flu epidemic. The global figure for the number who've caught the coronavirus is currently around 10 million. The global figure for the number who catch the flu can be as high as 1 billion with a B.
Boom.
1 billion.
There you go.
100 times as much. And it's widely recognized that the true mortality rate for both diseases is much the same. What if it were all part of a plan to get rid of people who need treatment? What would you call it when a government decides to kill millions of patients who might need care and cost money?
Genocide.
Genocide, perhaps?
Oh,
Is it part of the complete reset of our world,
it is.
as talked about and enthused over by Prince Charles and company at the World Economic Forum? Why have things changed so much? It's partly money, and it is, I suspect, partly eugenics, but it's all part of a wider plan, a plan for power. Of course, getting rid of the elderly and the chronically sick will remove a big part of the drug companies' profits. The elderly and those with long-term health problems obviously take a lot of drugs, but the new leaders of our world have solved that little problem. They're making mass vaccination a must for billions. The profits made from the vaccines will more than make up for the lost profits on the drugs for the elderly. And unbelievable as it may sound, things seem destined to get even worse. You may find this difficult to believe, but it's true. A growing number of people, mostly young, left-wing and politically active, are advocating voluntary euthanasia for the chronically sick as well as for the elderly. They want people with heart disease, diabetes, respiratory problems, arthritis, or other severe disabilities, both mental and physical, to be invited to join the waiting list for euthanasia. Their argument is purely financial. Sick people take up a good chunk of any healthcare budget. They are, so it's claimed, a drag on the economy. These people want to cleanse society of the weak and the expensive, so there'll be more money for them.
Amen, they do.
You think I'm exaggerating? Perhaps I should remind you that since February, I've been absolutely accurate with all the facts I provided and with my predictions for the coronavirus. And you can easily check my track record for the last half a century. It's on my website. And then decide if you think I'm exaggerating. Thanks for watching An Old Man in a Chair. And thank you for all your support and encouragement. Please copy and share the videos on Twitter, Facebook, BitChute, or wherever. And if you'd like to put on a translation, that would be great. If my videos disappear, then you can find where they're going to be on my website, www.vernoncoleman.com, where you can also find transcripts of banned videos. This website hasn't been monetized, I haven't authorized any advertising, and there's no sponsorship. If you'd like to see more videos from me, then please subscribe to my channel, because the videos aren't always easy to find. If you visit mainstream media, please put on a note at the end of whatever you're reading, asking people to look at these videos to find the truth. Although it may feel like it at times, please remember, you're not on your own. More and more people are waking up And I do believe that eventually we can and will win this war. Thank you for watching.
Amen. He's a dude, isn't he? He's a dude. I love him. I stumbled across Vernon a few months ago, and this guy's he was a GP, and he packed up being a GP because he thought, oh, this is going a bit Harold Shipton. And obviously, he's knocking it out the park. I mean, that video that I've just shared there's 39,000 views, 3 days ago. I'm hoping that my channel can grow in such a way, not because I want to see the numbers grow as an egotistical point of view, because I don't really have an ego. I guess we all have a little bit of one if we're honest with each other somewhere down the line, but it's because I want people to get information and to make a difference in their life. That's the only reason I do this. I don't come in here for likability. I like your love. I like your kindness. That's for sure. But I don't do it for any other reason. Never have done, never will do. I do this because I care about people. All right. That's why we spent many years helping single mothers with children be bailiffs. One of the stories I really like was around about 4 years ago. A friend of mine phoned me up and she said, Dave, she said, I've got a friend of mine. She said, a bailiff's trying to kick her door in for a bill, which is £800 odd. I went, okay. So I said, look, give her my number and we'll have a chat. So this woman phones me in sort of next to no time, about half hour later. And I said, so are you all right, chick? And she said, yeah. I said, what's happened? She said, I was in town. She said, I got a fine. She said, I parked somewhere that I didn't display, put pan display or whatever. She said, and I ignored it. And she said, it's now with the bailiff fees, because you know them lovely bailiff fees, isn't it? £200 a visit. Crikey. I think bailiffs think they're plumbers. I really do. So the bailiff fees are lumped on, and before she knows it, she's got an £800 odd bill. So this bailiff is knocking at her flat. This woman's got pretty much next to nothing. She's going from hand to mouth, meal to meal. You know what it's like when you're on benefits and stuff. And she's on benefits, and she had some health issues as well. So she was classed as vulnerable. Now, she had a child, and she said, Dave, there really isn't anything they can take. She said, because I haven't got anything. So I said, right, okay, leave it with me. I said, give us your email. So I'll give her she gave me her email, and I fired her over a thing called a courtesy notice from the One People's Public Trust. And I said to her, this woman from the council that's writing to you with these notices, address it, put her name in this box as respondent. And she said, yeah, all right. So, and she copied it and she emailed it over. And she said, she phoned me back, same day this was, right? Same day. Couldn't believe it. This all happened within 5 hours. This woman that she emailed it to in the council phoned her up, and she said, I could tell straight away, Dave, that she was on the back foot because her breath was shallow. She started, you can tell when someone's got that panic in their psyche. You've all had situations where things have got a little bit out of control, and you felt that, I'm not in control, and your heart rate goes up and you get shallow breath. And she said, this woman was, why have you named me? Why have you named me? Why are you going to sue me? What? She said, well, I'm not being funny. She said, you're the one bringing this to my door. And she said, well, leave it with me. Anyway, cut a long story short, this woman phones her back at 4 o'clock from the council. And she said, it's all sorted. It's all set to zero. And the lady friend that I was helping out, she phoned me up and she told me. I said, oh, it's fantastic news. I said, wow, that's amazing. I said, but you need to ring this woman back up now and tell her that you want it in writing. She went, what do I want it in writing for? I said, you want this in writing, mate. I said, it's no good you just taking it over a phone. You want them to put this in writing. So she phoned this woman back up. And this woman said, well, what do you want it in writing for? She said, I want it in writing. I want it verified. So she sent it to her. So we went from a woman and a child living in fear, worrying about this nasty boogeyman bailiff kicking her door in, to 4 to 5 hours later with one simple notice, all set to zero. How beautiful was that? Jacqueline Jones, hello, sweetheart. Love it to show. So yeah, we're good at this. We know what we're doing. We're on it. We'll have a look at Carl Vernon for a second. You're going to like this guy. He's just class. So we've got Vernon Coleman, who's the doctor, the GP, the JP. Here's his channel. Look, check him out. This geezer's a dude. No sheep allowed. Meh. Right, today I saw a dog wearing a mask. Say cheese. Oh, this is funny, man. You got to check this out. This is right funny. Look, I can't stop laughing at all the people. I just can't stop laughing. This is so funny. So we've now got. Let me just pause that and go back to the beginning. You're going to like this guy. This guy is just electrifying. So this is Carl Vernon. His channel is carlvernon.com. He's also got a website. He's on Patreon and all these other bits and bobs. And this one's entitled Say Cheese. So now you can get these masks that are doing your body no good whatsoever. For 22 or 24 pounds, you can have your face printed on the front of your mask. Why is that not giving me no volume on? Oh, no, thank you. What's going on here? What's my volume? Hang on. Oh, it always goes wrong. It's because it's early, people. It's because it's early. Now, I used to panic over videos like this when I'd done videos and things weren't going quite right. I don't panic no more. I just take it in my stride. Why? Because I know you're all decent, kind, loving people. That's how I do it. Why is it not playing the music, man? You just heard the adverts. I'm not getting no volume on this one. Actually, this has come out. We're going brace yourself for the second wave. Let's go.
You've got to give the powers that be absolute credit in their ability to be able to read the future. Bill Gates and his computer simulations and predictions that he made about the pandemic way before it actually happened were quite incredible.
Incredulous.
The TEDx talk that he made about the future pandemic that was coming, absolutely incredible. The future reading skills that I've never seen anybody else capable of doing is absolutely incredible. So when you start hearing talks of second waves, it should prick your ears up.
Add that we're absolutely not hoping not to have a second wave, and that is one of the reasons why we are being so careful about unlocking social distancing, one piece.
Achtung!
Get out of control again, is it? What are the media saying?
Because we absolutely don't want this to get out of control again. However, is it right and proper to prepare for emergencies? Is it right and proper to put ourselves in a good position to be able to deal with an upsurge of cases? Absolutely.
When you see shops and schools gearing up for this new normal, you could be forgiven for thinking that we're never going to get back to a form of normality, certainly as it was before, even though all the common sense and the stats says that we shouldn't be in this position in the first place. But don't worry, all it takes is ripping up that social engineering tape, you know, the tape that I'm talking about, just to keep us in our nice little pens. All it takes is just putting the chairs back in the school classroom and tickety-boo, we're back to normal, aren't we? You've met the Karens in the park. Maybe you've met them in Tesco. They've maybe had a good shout at you. they ain't going anywhere. That deep-rooted fear and anxiety and worry that coronaphobia is implanted into the psyche ain't going anywhere. You see, new habits are formed over 21 days. They've rammed this down our throats for how long now? 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And now they're talking about second waves and all these things that are to come, all this new wave of bullshit. You think these Karens are going to go? You think that their oppression is going to go? Do you think their ability to use the power of coronaphobia against you is going to go? Ain't going anywhere.
Amen.
Let me emphasize a couple of things here. One is that maybe people are just hoping and praying that this virus will just go away, as indeed I hope and pray it will.
Are you, love, on the
But
trail?
reality is that,
Hello, Stu.
certainly
All right,
until we get
gorgeous.
a vaccine, and only if we get a vaccine that is really capable of suppressing disease levels, will we ever be what we would call kind of out of this.
I dare mention the V word. I was
No.
reading the BMJ the other day. It's quite interesting to see what doctors are getting in regards to advice. And there was a really interesting article about these. And it says pretty clearly that it normally takes more than 10 years to create a V. If you listen to other experts, they are pretty clear in saying that it takes normally anywhere between 5 and 8 years. So whatever timescale you look at, it's a lot longer than the warp speed few months that we're expected to be getting. Maybe it's part of this future reading technique that I mentioned earlier. Who knows?
Hey, welcome back. I was just going to say at the end of the last session we just had, I also wonder when this became about finding a cure. This was about flattening the curve, and now suddenly Washington is talking about looking for a cure, and I don't know when this happened or when that became the optimum thing, but it's just very freaky.
I couldn't agree more, Whoopi. What is it? Is it curve or is it cure? We were told to stay at home and lock down while we allow the curve to surpass, and then there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. We can get back to a form of normality. We did it. And now it's all about a cure. Where did that come from? Where the fuck did that come from? There's evidence to suggest that the curve went by in April. There's even more evidence to suggest that the curve was done before we even went into lockdown with the studies that are coming out now. But let's not use future predictions. We haven't got the powers that these people have obviously got. So let's not go there. So let's take it at face value. We've overcome some form of curve. The figures are suggesting that. But now it's about a cure. Where the fuck did that come from? But anyway, let's not question anything. Let's continue our social engineering. Let's, most of us, not question anything that's going on at the minute and just continue as it is and allow all this to be happening. Allow our futures to be single-handedly destroyed, our jobs to be lost, and our businesses to go bust, as they are continuing to do daily. Let's continue to face the worst recession that the planet has ever seen and see where that gets us. And maybe when people start to feel the pain a little bit more, we'll actually start to do something a little bit more about this. But stay alert, don't question anything, take care of yourself. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta. That's good, isn't he? Isn't he good? Look, guys, I'm not a prophet. I'm not a thingy religious, but one of my favorite books, The Red Letters Words of Jesus, right? John 8:32 says, the truth shall make you free. How lovely is that? Seeking absolute truth is a fading value in our culture. Good and evil are increasingly becoming relative terms, resulting in people doing what is right in their own eyes. With no regard for the consequences of their actions, a lack of truth and integrity is wreaking havoc in society and creating bondage to sin. To a world in spiritual bondage, Jesus said, if you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Even though the world may deny absolute truth today, Christians know the word of God is a sure foundation of truth. Those who want to please God and live according to his standards know that they must abide by the truth of the scripture. If they will follow his truth, they will be set free from the bondage of sin, right? Are you abiding in God's word, both studying and living what you learn? God's word is his love letter to you by walking in his truth according to his guidelines, his obedience to his commands, and you will know the fulfilling life of spiritual freedom he has for you, right? That's powerful. I'm not a preacher, but I'm sorry, I do read the Bible, because when I started stumbling across all this stuff and trying to figure out what goes on in the world, I thought there's got to be some sort of an explanation to why all this wickedness and carnage and stuff that goes on, all this adrenochrome. I mean, Dr. Dawson just made a fantastic comment there. The cure is for the adrenochrome users who get the bad shrimp. Now, adrenochrome comes from beating up kids, taking their blood after you're slicing them up and raping them. And you can believe that not to be a truth. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's a hard truth and a very bitter pill to swallow. And it is true. We have people in this world that do take adrenochrome. But let me tell you, let them go and live in the let them go to the pit. I'm not interested in their stuff, man. I mean, to get involved in that level of life just to make yourself and keep yourself looking young and keep yourself egotistical is just shameful. So that's the truth. And I was trying to get a handle on what's going on in the world with all the stuff, with the feast, famines, the disease, the pestilence, the earthquakes, and I just started picking up the book and reading from it, and it all becomes apparent. So whenever people say to me, "Here, Dave, you never guess what's going on," I go, "Yeah, I can quite believe that. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, so and so happened today, Dave. Oh, you should have seen it." I go, "Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, I can." And that's the problem. I can believe it because it's in the Word. And once I started to read that book as a book of law and a book of reason, and as a book of how we should be in this world, because that's all it is. It's not about going to church. It's not about eating the bread and drinking the wine. There was a vicar a few years ago that was peeing in the wine. People were starting to think, well, this wine's gone a bit off. No, he's urinating in it. These are the people that you go to and pray for forgiveness. And it makes me blood boil. It really does, that we've become so depraved. Obama's predicting the pandemic several years back. He did, yeah, Ray. Yeah, it's lovely to see you, Ray, this morning. Jesus Jones, I need to get one of these to understand their world. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, what that does is every now and again when I get a little bit jittery and trying to figure out why this has happened, that's happened, I just pick the book up and I read it, and I find I get the revelation, I get the revealing of why things are happening, and these times that we're in are certainly pressing upon us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not too sure how long I've been in here this morning. I think we've been in here a while. Taking the P, yeah. Death become a film. What are we chatting about? What's this all about? Death become a film. Oh, is that a film? Is it? Is that a film? Death become a film. Says it all. Happy days. Taking the P, Ray Edmonds. Obama predicted the pandemic several years back. Yeah, there's nothing that, like, you know, look, let's have a look at the Georgia Guidestones, right? The Georgia Guidestones, here we go. Let me share my screen, and we're going to go through the Georgia Guidestones. You can come with me. Come for a little journey this morning. So here you can see, people, you've got a picture of the Georgia Guidestones here, okay? It's in Georgia, in America, funnily enough. The Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones are a granite monument erected in 1980 in Elbert County. So yeah, let's have a look. So these are the Georgia Guidestones, okay? Now they're a bit sort of Stonehenge, but on a B&Q budget. They've got different languages. The message is the same on every corner. So this side, there'll be messages, and on the other side, the reverse side, you're going to see that as well. Then the Georgia Guidestones are a granite monument erected in 1980 in Elbert County, Georgia, in the United States. A set of 10 guidelines is inscribed on the structure in 8 modern languages, and a shorter message is inscribed at the top of the structure in 4 ancient language scripts. Okay. Sanskrit, whatever languages, I'm not too sure. Latin, maybe, Sumerian, who knows? I don't know. But let's have a little look at what they say. It does say on there that inscriptions, right? So this is Google. A message consisting of a set of 10 guidelines or principles is engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages. One language on each face of the 4 large upright stones, moving clockwise around the structure from due north. These languages are in English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese. Oh, I love a Chinese. And Russian. Right. So maintain humanity under 500 million. Okay. In perpetual balance with nature. That's number 1. So that's their priority. Okay. Whenever you're prioritizing over whatever, number 1 always, the golden chalice, the nugget always goes at the top, right? Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. See, now this, to me, this ain't nothing different from a manifesto from the Fourth Reich. Yeah, this is the master race. This is like a master race set of tablets. Yeah. So, maintain humanity at 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely. This is dangerous. Improving fitness and diversity. You're creating a master race there. You unite humanity with a living new language. What the Jesus is that all about? Rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Well, that don't sound too bad. Little nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. God, I wish we could get rid of our useless officials. God, dear. Now, that one, I can quite go with that one. Get rid of our useless officials. Now, our useless officials in this country are the police. They are useless. Balance personal right. And I don't take no pleasure out of talking like that. I take no pleasure out of defenders of the faith of my country calling them useless. I take no pleasure, let me tell you. But they are just sociopaths, and they impose their will on us now, and they absolutely hate us, the people. Balance personal rights with social duties. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think socialism and rights should ever be in the same book. Prize truth. Noahide laws. There you go. It's a Noahide laws. Stuart James, he knows. We could get in. Actually, before I disappear, because I'm going to go and get some breakfast. I've been on here about an hour. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Why do they put that down twice? Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. I consider this time period that we're in to be a reset and not to be a cancer on the earth, and leave room for nature. I consider this time period that we're all in, all stuck indoors, not doing this, not doing that. I consider that to be maybe happening right now. So I'm going to show you a guy that I follow on YouTube, and he's been banging on about these times coming for a few years, and I've spoke to Derek Bros a few times, and this guy is amazing. This guy is amazing. Before I disappear, I am going to give you a bit of Derek Bros. Hope you don't mind. Big shout out. He's got just under 70,000 subscribers now, and he's only been on here a few years, couple of years. Derek Bros. Let's give you a bit of the Global Witness.
Hey, I wanted to just make a quick video. We're in
This guy's
the
Christian.
middle of doing a studio move and equipment and building some things and putting things together. This has been an amazing blessing that has really transfigured where we were going, but it was also part of what needed to happen. And the timing, obviously, with everything going on in the world right now is remarkable. The blessings that are there are astounding. And what it will allow us to do in so many ways is to do everything, fulfill everything that we've been asked to fulfill, particularly in these times. And I do have a specific message about something that I witnessed today, and that's really why I started this video because in the middle of everything that we're doing, we're busy. And a lot of this is highly physical work. So
Mrs. Illuminati.
we're not, young spring chickens. So it wears on these bodies. And it can also wear on your spirit too. And we must make sure that we take the time and separate ourselves from the world, because there's so much of it coming at us, and most of it is unavoidable. It's within all of the systems, and you're seeing that being challenged. All of those systems being challenged. Now, this is why I've said, do not pick a side, because as you see the issues will become refined. They will become usurped and refined. So you can say, hey, I'm a BLM person right now, but then you begin to learn really who's behind it and who's usurped it, because it always gets triggered with something of the heart, a real issue. And then it spawns into what it needs, because you need the people to be invested in this issue. It becomes an identity to who they are. So with that said, I was watching something, and it was remarkable to me how I quickly saw what it truly.
So that's Derek Brose. He's awesome, the Global Witness. And I was chatting to this guy the other night. He's let me see if I can find his channel. He is a dude. This guy, I can't find him. I did add to his channel. Let's see if I can find him. Just bear with me. Subscriptions. He's called Illuminati. I was chatting with him. Here we go. This, let me tell you, right? This geezer is proper funny. He's in Hollywood. He's a Freemason, believe it or not. And I did say to him, be careful. Be careful. But he makes me laugh. And the reason why I love this guy is, and I'm going to be doing a lot with this dude. I am going to be doing a lot with this dude, let me tell you, because he is funny. He made me laugh so much the other night. He said something quite profound to me. He's in Hollywood, Los Angeles, and we were chatting, and he said, Dave, I'd die for you. He said, your soul's good, man. I went, wow. That was off the cuff. This guy in Hollywood that I've never met before, that has seen my stuff, said to me, I'm honored to know you, and I would die for you. Man, I tell you, that really, really hit me. So this is AJ, and I'm going to be doing a lot with this dude, let me tell you. Oh. He's so funny.
Wow. Tonight just really happened. Did tonight just really happen?
Any handsome, isn't he? He's so lovely.
All right. Let me put it to you like this. Tonight was a giant card. And I'm not really rapping.
He's funny. Look, check him out.
One of the biggest things we have in the UFC right now, the biggest issue, the biggest consequential issue of mixed martial arts, combat arts, is that the most dominant form of combat is Greek Olympic wrestling, judo Olympic wrestling.
So this guy, right? I was chatting with him the other night. Let me come back in the room. I was chatting with him the other night, and I laughed all the way through. Now, the reason why I share these videos from Carl Vernon, Vernon Coleman, AJ, Derek Brose is I'm not trying to build a society. I'm trying to build a platform for goodness and for for good stuff. Kojak, yeah, and he needs a lollipop, man. AJ, you only need a lollipop, son. That's all he needs. But I really, really enjoyed my chat with him the other night. And he said, he was he got tied into the Freemasonry very young through family connections. He said you can never leave. He said, but you can pull away and not really participate. He said, because once you're a Mason, you're always a Mason. That's just how it is. And for the stuff he was talking about, I was like, wow, man. And for him to say the things he said to me was really heartfelt, really, really was. And it tells me that the world is changing. The world is absolutely changing massively. And so it's fantastic. Shirley Farrell's just popped in. Shirley, did you get... I did email you back yesterday with them documents yesterday night. I hope you got them. I did forward them over to you. And if you want pictures of how to fill them in, I can send them to you through Facebook Messenger. All righty. Check out the lyrics. Jesus Jones, Madonna. She don't look very well, does she, Madge? Maybe she ain't getting her adrenochrome. There's all these big Hollywood celebrities that look like dog shit right now. And I mean really dog shit. Johnny Depp, Celine Dion, Madonna. And they were picture perfect, weren't they? Their bodies were looking pretty decent. And yeah, look at them now. Look at them now, man. Anyway, listen, peeps. We're at an hour. I like to keep these to an hour. I'm going to get going. I need to go and have some breakfast. And I guess I'll see you all a bit later. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. I think today's going to be fantastic and warm. And stay blessed, stay safe, and just keep trucking, man, because we're winning this war, let me tell you. And it is a war. Take care, guys. Love you all.